Alright. Diverting the Marmota, the Maidens Shield. There's only one thing that always bugged me about this thing. This mission involves a vehicle that is several... I think it's like a kilometer long. Like 1,000 meters. This is literally a land battleship. Once you see it in actual game, you'll realize exactly what the problem is when I'm talking about this.
We're about to commence Operation Maidens Shield, together with the Randgrees Royal Guard.
In other words, the only military left in Gallia. Yeah, we'll be beginning from that position. We've somehow got to get the Marmota down to this second position, as opposed from going on a straight line. There's actually only one unit you need for this entire mission, and that is Alicia. In actuality, here's the thing. You actually don't want any more units because of that.
To divert that monster away from the capital. Squad 7, move out!
That thing that is towering behind us is the Marmota.
So that's it, huh? They weren't kidding with that battleship stuff.
Remember, our mission's just to lead it along. Avoid combat where you can.
You can't damage it. I tried shooting it.
And don't forget to keep your distance. Get run over by that thing and it's all over.
Yeah. The character basically immediately dies. Okay. So, just for reference, that is the Marmota. It just barely fits here. So the question becomes, how in the world does it turn? Just straight up, how does it turn? Now, the reason I shot that thing is it's part of the way to divert the Marmota.
My turn, okay?
You actually have to shoot those.
Get ready to intercept, soldiers. Enemy sighted.
Now comes the fun part. I gotta get the tanks to catch up.
Way ahead of you.
Now, in order to A-rank this, you actually have to avoid shooting some of the stuff.
Make sure to keep your distance.
Entering combat.
I can't believe something like this even exists.
Because you have to beat it in, I think, like 7 turns.
Entering combat. Gotta love nature.
Keep your distance.
Now!
Now, despite how that fell, it doesn't actually fall there. So despite Alicia being right at the edge of it, she was completely safe. That's why I had Alicia positioned there. Now, luckily, the Marmota moves really slowly, but you see those two, well, technically 4 huge cannons on the front? It will absolutely annihilate anything that gets too close to it.
Lieutenant, detonate them with a gunshot.
But won't the person setting them...
Shoot.
Yeah, literally, it just does exactly what it just showed. They just told me to do what I'd already done.
Leave it to me.
It's too dangerous to stand near it. Keep an eye on the...
Entering combat.
Now, this is a situation where you actually want the tanks to go through first, because there are a lot, and I do mean a lot of mines through here.
It's time for all good little Gallians to run home and hide.
Here we go.
So you actually want to be able to drive the tanks through here, so they detonate all the mines, so Alicia can then follow them through.
Way ahead of you.
I don't want any wasted lives out there.
Now, there are a couple of anti-tank mines in there, which will damage your tracks and make it harder to get through, but you can avoid them. Normally, this would be where it stopped the first time because you blow up those ones right there. But like I said, in order to get an A rank, you don't want to do that.
Sir, the straight path leads away from our... In that case, why not... Right. Way ahead of you.
Anti-personnel mines have no effect on tanks, so it is perfectly fine to drive this tank through here.
Found us an enemy. Fly. Here we go.
In fact, this is precisely why you want the tanks to come through here.
Good little Gallians to run home and hide.
Like I says, we still have one turn before the Marmota makes it here.
Can't beat the smell of fresh soil.
So we don't really have to be very worried about this.
It's time for all...
Unfortunately, like I says, I can't. You know, I had the rifle grenade.
My wounds are healing.
I could have used the rifle grenade. I can be such a...
Moving out.
Alright, barrier's clear.
The sheer size of it.
Now, there's a couple of enemies spawned over there, including a sniper.
Please don't let it reach Red.
Moving out.
However, we don't really want to worry about them right now.
Lure the Marmota to the rendezvous point.
Moving out.
I didn't expect to actually hit those, but... Success! Mission failed successfully. Alright, it's turned and is now heading towards the military base, which we were just in.
Enemy course change confirmed.
Looks like we made him turn. Okay, let's keep going.
Now, the irony here is,
Way ahead of you.
as of the end of this mission, we've effectively done all that we can.
I can't believe something like this even exists.
Yeah, I wasted that shot, but it wasn't really necessary to begin with. Mostly, I just want to get him out of the base.
We've got to divert that thing.
Since the Marmota will be approaching very, very soon.
Moving out. Please hit. My turn, okay? Don't even think of dodging. Please hit.
Try not to let your guard down.
Preparing to take action.
Leave it to me.
It's not an opponent you can...
Alright, now all I gotta do is kill those two, and basically this is mission over. The rest of it's just waiting for the Marmota to catch up. Which nets us, as far as I remember, the last elite sniper rifle in the game. actually really concern myself for that. I mean, you'd think I need to be worried about it, seeing as how, you know, one of my characters just died. But in all reality, I actually don't have to worry about it because the Marmota is so far away, and this has so little to do with anything.
Entering combat.
That I can basically just drive the Edelweiss up and just boop stuff.
Anyone, you'll be in danger.
Now! Leave it to me. Fly.
And there's the sniper dead.
Just keep up this pace.
Let's go retrieve Alicia.
Medic!
It's gonna be all right. Leave it to me.
It's all in your hands now.
Anyone, you'll be in danger.
And that effectively is this mission over. There's nothing I can really do now. I mean, once I kill this Lancer, that's it.
Entering combat. Fire!
Who are these guys?
Well, that's that done. All I really gotta do is just park the Edelweiss at the end of that road, and that's it.
Here we go!
Focus on making smart choices, soldiers. Don't let them break through.
Alright.
Entering combat. Gotta love nature.
Boop. That's it. Now I'm just sitting here waiting. The only thing that takes a long time in this mission is just waiting for the Marmota to catch up.
Sir,
Let's block. We're not far from.
But you know, seriously, considering how long this thing is, there is no way it should be able to make a turn that sharp. Especially with the way these hills are set up. It's just too long.
Operation.
And that is the last legally acquirable gun. Those cannons have no shot.
Would you look at that? We're raining cannonballs on that thing and it ain't flinching.
And now it's pretty much clear of the gully. Well, boss, what's your plan? No wonder of nature up your sleeve to fix this one, Lieutenant?
Hey, that a person out there?
What are they thinking? What? That's Alicia. She's going to attack that thing all by herself. That's insane!
What does she think she can do against that juggernaut?
Alicia!
Wait a minute! Where are you going?
Forgive me, Welkin. I shouldn't have just left. Not without saying goodbye. I've been thinking this whole time, Welkin, wondering why I was born like I am. A Valkyria. If only I weren't a Valkyria, things would be just like they were before, wouldn't they? But no. That is one way, but I have found another. I know how I can give my life as a Valkyria meaning. I can use my power. I can stop this thing. I'll stoke my life fire into a blaze. I'll save you. I'll save Brule, my friends, and everyone else in Galia.
Alicia, I got bad news for you. You're kind of close. That's kind of danger close. You saw the blast field of that thing, Alicia. I got bad news for you. If you're that close, you're gonna blow up your team too. You're kind of gonna kill everybody. That's a really stupid decision to make. That's a bad idea. Very bad idea. See how long that thing is? I mean, they know for a fact you can't kill a Valkyria with cannons.
I am Valkyria. I never wanted this! I am Valkyria, not a woman. No. That life has ended. Alicia Melchiot is dead.
What? That blue flame, she wouldn't! Fool! What does she think to do? Sacrifice herself and take the Marmota down with her? Fine. 45 degrees to port. All ahead full. Now!
You're still in the blast radius.
Alicia!
Welkin! Why are you here? Leave! I'm destroying the Marmota. Only I can do it. I'm one life. My death could save a whole country.
Alicia, you're wrong. You could destroy them with your power. But that's not real victory. Real
Yes, it is.
victory is something we must claim for ourselves without relying on your power.
I can't. Welkin, I can't. Valkyrian blood runs in my veins. I'm not
right. It's true that you have powers that we don't have. But so what? You're still yourself, Alicia. Kind. Bright. A future baker. Alicia, has any of that changed? You may be Valkyria, but you're still the same girl.
Well, can I?
You mean so much to me, Alicia. I will not let you come to harm. I will protect you. Alicia, I love you.
Welkin.
Alicia, once this war is finished, will you be with me? I would be with you. Together. Always.
Yes, always.
It's a good thing the Marmota's running away, because otherwise they'd all be dead. Also, I'd like to point out, this is just common sense, but a single sacrifice for a victory on this scale against the Empire would be actually really, really good, because now a whole lot of people are going to die that could have been avoided by a single sacrifice. I understand what they're trying to say here, but at the same time, there's a certain point where you have to realize that self-sacrifice is, in of itself, a good idea and is the entire concept of a military. You are sacrificing your one life for the sake of protecting everyone back home. If you choose not to make that sacrifice, if you choose to avoid that decision, you're essentially condemning all the people that your entire reason for being in the war itself is to save. That's why surrender is generally considered cowardly. That's why most militaries encourage their soldiers to fight to the death. Because when you lose a lot more than just your life. Now, that's not to say that they have a point here. Alicia's sacrifice may not have accomplished anything. The Marmota itself might have even been able to survive. They don't know what the Imperial military actually did to build the Marmota. There's a chance that she could have blown herself up and the Marmota could have continued on its way, in which case they lose not only the strategic resource of the Valkyria, but any chance whatsoever of destroying the Marmota. Not like that ever actually matters in the end, because the Marmota winds up destroyed in a completely unrelated way, but by the same token, there is some precedence for not throwing your life away meaninglessly. That's another thing about the military. The idea is to achieve a goal. You don't want to die. You don't want to throw your life away, but if the choice comes, sacrifice yourself to save others, that's the general idea of what a military is. When you join a military, you are saying, my life for theirs. My life for my people, for my country, for my government. Preferably in that order. Because a country can survive with a different government. A country cannot survive without its people. If there's no one living there, it's not a country. It's just a plot of land. If there's no people, there's no country. People form countries, and governments manage countries. People of similar ideas are the basis of a country. If you have a bunch of people with a bunch of different ideas and none of them can agree on anything, you don't really have a country. Which is, kind of one of the things that is kind of happening in America right now. Nobody can agree on anything, but we're still considered a country. But at one point, we did all agree on something. We all agreed to form the country. And we created a government to manage that country we formed. Maybe my information's not correct. Maybe that's not how it really works. But in my opinion, it is.
Welkin.
Alicia.
Ooh, you're making me blush over here. But, you sure that's wise? You know, this being a combat zone and all.
Hey.
Just look at the happy couple. And I get the big scoop.
Everybody's happy the Marmota left.
I would if it were anyone else. But for you two, well, I'll keep my big mouth shut. Just this once, you hear?
Alicia, welcome back.
Thank you. All of you. I missed you so.
You dropped this, boss.
So, Welkin, we'll hear your orders.
Why is the captain taking orders from a lieutenant?
We go to hunt the Marmota. We'll head straight for Randgrease. All right, everyone, let's get moving.
Chapter 17, The Bridge to Hope.
I still don't know how the Marmota got across the river. That's what I'm trying to figure out. There ain't no bridge strong enough to support that thing. They have to go north and up around in order to get in there, which is where they fight Jaeger again. But the Marmota just seems to be like, you know what, there's a river, I'm just going across it. Of course, as long as that thing is, there is a high probability that it is actually long enough to, by the time enough of it gets over the river to where it might drop in, it just goes straight across. But that was Operation Maiden Shield. By far the easiest of the last remaining missions. So there's 4 of them in total. There's this one. There's actually destroying the big important thing that the Marmota was built to carry. And then there's the final battle with the final boss, which is the Prince himself. So there's a grand total of 3 more episodes before this entire game is complete. And with that, I will have achieved my initial goal of making a review / playthrough of Valkyria Chronicles with the limitations that I put on it, which is that I'm not actually allowed to use any of the really neat stuff. So, let's save there. I'm gonna save over the Citadel of Gerlendio there in case I've got to redo everything here. We've all seen what happens when occasionally the game, or not the game, but the recording software, OBS, doesn't actually record what I just did, so I have to do it all again. That mission was stupidly easy. Recording it again would not be a major issue, because no matter what I do, the only thing I could change would be Alicia not dying before the end. Other than that, there's really nothing to it. It's that simple of a mission.